I really fucking love snacks.
Hello, welcome to Snack Time. I'm your host, Lindsay Adams, and thank you for subscribing and doing the stuff that you're supposed to do to help make me successful, because it really lies on you, not me. Anyway, I appreciate you listening to this podcast, even though I don't sound sincere when I'm saying it right now. More importantly, let's get to the fucking business of snacks. My guest today, so fucking funny, great comedian, has a podcast himself. Guys, please welcome. What do I say? I always say it. If you're driving, just let go of the wheel and start clapping. Eddie Pepitone.
Hey, everybody. God, I'd love to talk about my comedy career, but we have so much to get to, huh?
Yes,
as far as snacks.
I mean, we do, and but behind you, I noticed you have a poster of yourself. I just wanted to quickly address that.
Yeah, it's in lieu of self-esteem. What my shrink, I've been working with a psychiatrist or many psychiatrists over the years, and they have all decided it's called Team Pepitone at this point. And Team Pepitone has decided that, look, you're never going to get any innate self-esteem, so surround yourself with posters if you can.
I love that.
Yeah. So that's what I'm doing. That's from the documentary about me called The Bitter Buddha.
Yes, which is great, by the way. Highly recommended.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah, I've worked with many a psychiatrist. My psychiatrist now just stares at me when I tell her stuff. I have a therapist. My psychiatrist is for my medication, but
right. I don't even make that distinction anymore.
She just stares. She's like, how's it been? And I'm like, oh, I'm just like, and she's like, okay, so more Prozac?
You're like, I'm good. Can you just give me the meds? I've got to run.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, so what's our window here? Do we have like 10 minutes to talk about?
Yeah, they're amazing. Yeah, psychiatrists are amazing with the amount of money they charge for 10, 15, 20 minutes.
It's such a lucrative job. Like it's honestly, like, it makes so much sense because you just have to not be an idiot and like know.
Exactly.
You have to know the chemistry stuff and understand. Essentially, the most important thing you need to know for your female clients is if medications make you gain weight or not. You really don't need to know. Really, that's like the most common. You really don't need to know anything else. All you need to know is what category it sits in. And
that's so what, yeah. And for men, whether or not you can maintain an erection.
Yes. Or you can, if you can come, actually, I don't think people really I think that's honestly just been an acceptance thing. I think acceptance is the answer in that scenario for most people I know. They're just like, it is what it is. Who cares? So unfortunately that is a casualty, and that's, not on the psychiatrists. That is on the drug company.
Yeah, my shrink is like, by the way, I think it would be hilarious if we just kept talking about this and
that's all
get to the snacks.
Exactly.
And you've roped me in to talk about it. But yeah, my psychiatrist says, look, just don't take it one day if you want to,
Great advice. Or just add another medication. Why not? Just take 700 more. Who cares?
Yes.
You're already at Walgreens.
But doctor, isn't that a cocktail? I've been told don't take a cocktail of meds.
Yeah, it's a hot mess. God bless the manic emails that I send after are probably my favorite part of.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. I always feel fine when I see her, and then I decide that I'm not fine. And then whatever poor 20-year-old whose first job out of college it is to man the emails at this psychiatry practice has to then field my emails that say, it's not a big deal. I can't breathe. It's honestly not an emergency. I need you to know it's not an emergency. I do feel like my lungs aren't working. Not an emergency, but please have her call me. But not an emergency.
Yeah, and then the person who's manning the emails is like, Doctor, it's nothing. She just can't breathe.
Right.
I think she's a little bit of a whiner. This one.
Exactly. I've gotten emails back where people are like, can you clarify exactly what you mean? And I'm like, no, I can't. If I could, would I be emailing at 12 a.m.?
Oh my God. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, anyway, mental health directly tied to my obsession with food. Yeah.
That is so true, Lindsay. Mental health tied with snacking is very true. Very true.
Have you ever felt more comforted than getting a snack that brings both nostalgia and deliciousness?
Oh, I don't think so. I've tried Thunder blankets.
Have you really?
No, I haven't.
Oh my God.
But I'm thinking about it.
A weighted blanket. People
blanket.
They rave about it.
Except we live in LA, and I think you live in LA. Anyway, yes, you do.
Yeah.
Anyway, and it's always so fucking warm.
I know.
That I don't have cause to put on a weighted blanket.
No, but we do have so many other wacky solutions that rich people have figured out to somehow comfort our bodies instead of just, not engaging in a society that works us. Exactly. We've really done a good job of adjusting to the dysfunction.
What are some of those ways? Just so we're on the same page.
Sensory deprivation tanks.
Float
tank.
I'm too scared for those. I mean it.
So my mom, for my birthday a couple years ago, I think she got a Groupon or something, and she bought me a bunch of them. And so I started going to this place in Culver City because obviously I've been anxious forever. My birthday
You don't see
gift,
that. It's so funny. You don't have that.
I love that. I love that I don't give off an anxious vibe.
You seem like a CEO of a company.
Thank you so much. And you know what?
I don't know if that's a compliment.
I think it really is, because it means that I seem like I could upset you and take you down and also be rich. And those are things that I both aspire to do.
Okay. Yeah.
And, occasionally a charity dinner. Which is my favorite thing.
Hopefully they have good snacks, but they usually don't at these charity dinners.
No, they don't eat. It's upsetting. Honestly, the only reason why I go to a party, if I'm sober, the only reason why I go to a party is the food. That's always what I ask.
I am very aware of nervous eating during parties. I'm I just noticed that I'm always snacking on something at a party.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I'm always like, oh, really? Tell me. I have a lot of things going on here in LA.
Well, it gives you something else to talk about. It's such a vehicle. It's a tool in the same way that smoking or engaging. Thank God for the people that wig out at parties and cause a scene, because if I don't know what to say in a conversation, at the very least, I can be like, look at that guy. What a loser. And then we have something to talk about. But it's the same thing with food. You just stand there and you go, have you had these shrimp things? These shrimp things are fucking delicious. Not you. You're vegan, but then that's a whole nother conversation.
I've had a couple of slips lately, especially when I go on the road. I just get it's so hard on the road sometimes.
Yeah.
I get worn down. I'm eating all this fried shit on the road, and I just start feeling like garbage,
Yeah, well, you're in
Um,
middle America most of the time, correct?
yeah, and I am also sober, and and my little reward after shows is crazy. It's candy.
Yeah, same. Same.
Really,
Oh my
really.
God. There was like Hannah Einbinder and I did a show in Palm Springs years ago. And I was like,
Mm.
after the show, it was like 10:30 or something like that. And I was like, I'm actually going to go to a convenience store and
Yes,
get candy. And she was like,
totally.
I'm so glad you said that because I'm going to do the same. And I was,
Oh, so it's
yeah. So it became communal, but normally it's just by myself. And I just I fucking love
too.
candy.
I need a reward. I'm a
Yeah.
reward. I'm a reward based person.
Yes. Yes. And actually, I do think that candy. Well, what's the candy you go to as your show
Well,
reward?
I think the biggest one is Reese's peanut butter cups,
Oh,
and those are not vegan.
Oh, they're
They
not.
have palm oil in them, and palm oil, by the way, is really a fucked up thing. You know,
Well, yes.
it politically, and not only politically, but like real life. It destroys habitats of gorgeous creatures. Yet, when
Yeah.
I'm on the road, I have to say this slow.
Yeah, don't. It's not being recorded. Don't worry about it.
It says record here, but anyway, when I'm on the road, I need like
Something.
to just say, and I don't know about you, but after shows too, like I like to just watch stuff on my iPad, like
Oh my God, yeah.
streaming my favorite little whatever it is, and I'm like, oh, I'm good. I was so good tonight.
Yeah, I do the reverse of what I think a lot of comics do, whereas like before I go on stage, I generally need to talk to people and be chatty. And
Before you go,
before I go on stage, because
Okay.
I'm at my best when I'm in casual conversation mode and
on
that's
stage,
on stage.
yes.
So if
yes.
I go from having a conversation with a friend to being on stage,
That's
I'm
so
really
interesting to
at
me.
my best.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm the worst for most comedians because
I know.
most comedians need that silent time to study their jokes. But I'm way more likely, if I take quiet time before my set, I am way more likely to go on stage and make 0 sense because I've
Wow.
just had 400 thoughts that went through my brain at once. And then just me on stage, like, what are you doing tonight? It's like, what are you saying?
How about a hand for our bartenders?
Yeah, I just don't know what to say. And
Mhm.
but then after my set is when I like to go and be silent. And I just
Yes.
breathe. And that's when I
That's-
have candy. And that's when I don't want to talk to anybody.
Do you meet? That's interesting because I like to meet people after. People who've come to the shows, and
Which is great.
yeah,
I am alarmed generally. I mean, nobody cares about who I am, which is fine. But like in the times that I've been at a show where someone has come up after, I'm spooked so easily. So if someone says something, I don't know what to say. And I'm like, I don't react generally in the most welcoming, kind way. I just feel
Who are you? Who are you?
I know that they'll be like, "Oh, that was so great." Was it? It wasn't. Was it? Like,
oh, I still do that a little bit too, or a lot of it. Where I am like still going, really? I felt off. And that's such a bad thing to say to quote unquote fans, like really, it's so hilarious that I still do that. Like
it is really funny. I've never
with
seen
a random
you off.
person. Yeah, well, I should send you some tape.
That's because you also are always off, but that's because I've never seen you more off than normal. But No, I don't know what I expect people who are not comedians to say to that. Like
Yes,
they
right.
somehow think. It's like I somehow think they're saying it just to be nice, and I think part of my reaction is anger because when they say something like that was great, I'm always like, fuck you. Like, you don't have to fucking say that. Fuck you.
That
I don't need
is
that.
so funny. It would be funny if you started doing stadiums and every time the whole stadium roared with laughter, you were like, fuck you, I don't need that kind of, patronizing shit from you.
That's what it feels like. It's the most psychotic. I have to truly breathe because I'm just like, what do you need? Like,
Oh my God, that is hilarious.
It's
and
awful.
then the person who is complimenting you goes back to their significant other and you're like, just tell her she was shit.
Yeah.
That's the way to go with her.
Exactly. They're like, tell her she sucks. And then I'm like, that's so fucking mean. Why does everyone trying to hurt me constantly? Everyone's obsessed with my feelings. It's mortifying.
Yeah.
All I want you to do is listen to my rambling of nothing, my poorly thought out premises, and
poorly thought out. By the way, that's a good title for an album, I think.
What's
poorly
a good
thought out.
It sets a good expectation up top. What you know what you're going to get. So then, no matter what, you're really on the correct side of things.
Let me ask you one thing. This has nothing to do with snacks again.
Great.
Are you okay with watching yourself on tape do a set?
No.
I am not either.
I don't know. I don't know a lot of people that are. If I have to, I will. But I don't think I've ever seen a tape. I've avoided recording an album and recording like anything extended for years because
your agent is like, the fuck are you doing?
I know.
You
They're like, I guess you care about stand-up. I've avoided it because I'm always like that one pocket of like mediocre laughter. I'm at the point now where I'm like, I'm putting a laugh track in. I don't give a shit. Fuck you. I can't stand watching this. This is awful. Drown it out.
Yeah. I always just watch myself and go, you're not firing on all synapses again.
Yes.
That kind of shit.
It's actually the most torturous. The idea that I'm doing okay. I'll watch and I'm like, they're enjoying it, but they don't know what don't know that what they're missing.
They don't know that I'm a fraud.
Yeah, exactly. They're like, these.
All right. So this dovetails perfectly into like why we snack a lot.
Well, absolutely. And the after show snacks, this is all of this is reason why we need rewards with food. This is the whole point of why. It's like if I'm in New York, I go to a convenience store, I go to a bodega and grab a little fun thing. Which is like, a nightmare. I started in Chicago. It was always pizza after shows.
Oh God. Yeah. I've done that too. Still.
It's too much. And also it
is a lot.
The idea that a piece of pizza becomes a snack is hilarious. Truly. Like it's like, or some sort of burger. I'm naming all stuff that you don't eat, but whatever. So your favorite childhood snack, let's get into this.
Yeah.
You chose vanilla pudding.
I did because, and I still, when I think of vanilla pudding, I still get excited.
Yeah.
About it. I mean it. I mean, the comfort to me, the comfort of that texture of pudding, and I relate it also to like cream pies. Is just where you want to be on the snack pantheon, as far as I'm concerned. It is the most comforting. And let's be honest here. It's all about this incredible sugar rush, and vanilla pudding definitely had that, man. It was Jell-O brand.
Yes.
and they came in a little. I don't know if they still make them because I haven't like.
We do.
They do, yeah.
Yeah.
I love those little boxes like this big, and I'd empty them. You know, I think it was almost like doing drugs for me when I was a little kid. And I'd empty them, and I'd take milk and instant. There were two kinds, by the way.
Yes.
Now this is an interesting difference. The instant was great too. Like I would just take a fork, like I needed it quick, and I would like take a fork, and it would get, you know, and I would beat it, and it would get thicker, and I'd be like, yes, this is going to happen very soon.
Right.
But the thing I loved about the stovetop was, God Almighty, it was another layer of ecstasy, which was hot pudding.
Mm-hmm.
Like a lot of people would let it cool. I fucking would eat sometimes the whole thing hot. Oh, really? Okay, I'm not the only one.
Oh, no, for sure. Well, pudding is akin to pastry cream. And pastry cream is like one of my favorite things in the world. And the stovetop aspect of it is part of what makes it taste fresh. And you're supposed to let pastry cream chill too. But it's also like if you overcook it, I don't know. I'm gross. So I like it gently overcooked so that it's a little more gelatinous than it's supposed to be. I like the in between, gives me a little bit of a different texture, but that's just me.
Yeah, I remember, you know, I think they said when you see the bubbles, when it's heating, when you see this is really, it's almost like reliving just a great show or a sex thing. It's like when you see the bubbles, on the pudding, it's like, okay, this is the texture. Yeah. This is the texture that I want, you know?
Yeah. Well, it's also kind of a science experiment as a kid. It's like when you're a kid, it's like something you can make yourself. It's, you know, pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
And
right.
To me, it's like, it's
especially for a guy.
Yeah.
I think there's a big difference there. Guys are not, they weren't, at least when I was growing up, which was back in the 1930s, guys weren't socialized to cook.
Right. Okay. Yeah. That makes sense. Well, also, it's that, and it's like a makeover food, which is like, you know how people are obsessed with makeover shows where it's like they make someone ugly pretty? That's essentially what instant everything is. Instant pudding. Like you make it go from this thing that is just powder to this like beautiful, creamy, delicious, whatever. And the best part about the box too is that you can discard the serving size. Have you ever measured the pudding after?
You know, I've always been distraught about what they call a serving size.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
You know, I'd be like, really? This is supposed to serve 4? I need 2 boxes just to serve me.
Oh, I know. I mean, a box of cereal is so silly because it's like, are you kidding me? You think I'm not going to eat half and half? Like, you think I'm going to have just like a single serving of cereal? But I also eat cereal out of the box dry. I eat it like popcorn.
Oh, yeah. I've done that too by the way, that's a great snack. And I'm sure you've had a lot of that. Cereal is amazing. And again, it's all about the sugar rush because I don't think many people are out there eating plain Cheerios out of the box.
No. I mean, some people, you know, one of the things, and this kind of rings true to your snack too, some people are like all about the classics. So it's like for them, it doesn't matter if plain Cheerios taste like whatever. If that's what they ate growing up, that is what they're going to eat and go to as like the comfort food.
Really? Because for me, you know, Fruit Loops, Tricks, those classics. I don't know if you remember this. I don't know if they make them anymore. Again, I don't know. Apple Jacks. Do you
Oh,
remember
yeah.
those?
Oh, yeah.
And
They
the big
absolutely.
one, Frosted Flakes.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Frosted Flakes, I mean, all of these are such a beautiful trick because even Raisin Bran is actually the most
Very
high.
sweet.
It's the highest sugar content of like all of the cereals
Is
you
it?
mentioned. Yes. It's insane. I mean, at the bottom of the box is just literal sugar and raisins. That's it.
Yes. It's so funny too, and so evil American, just corporations, like they put in the word brand and all of a sudden it's very healthy.
I know. Well, the last episode I did with Kara Klink, I was talking to her about how a lot of these foods in the 90s got caught, I think from the 50s through the early 90s. They like really built up snack culture. Maybe the 40s, 30s because
50s
of the
through the early 90s.
Yeah, because they started doing during World War II. I think probably that's more in the 40s. During World War II, when they had the shortages, they had to get creative. And so they started doing more manufactured foods. And so they would come up with shit that was like not really food, but like tasted cool and you could package it and it was cheap. And then that sort of evolved into like this whole food is fun idea that into the 50s started being like a thing, like wacky fun foods. And then it calmed down a little bit in the 60s and 70s. And then and then in the 80s, it like started to ramp up again. And in the 90s, it reached like a heyday. And
really?
And at the tail end of the 90s, when we had like green ketchup, that was when the moms rallied.
What was green ketchup?
Oh, they had like green and purple ketchup, and I just remember wanting it. They were at a place with food where they were just like, "What if we just fucking make it as disgusting as possible looking, but actually tastes good?"
Right. They still do that shit though.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of love it. Like, I low key
because. There are books, by the way. This is hilarious. There are books, and I've read them. One is called Consumed, and then I forget what the other book is, but they talk about how there are scientists working in laboratories who perfect ways to get people hooked.
Yep.
Like to hit the dopamine centers,
for sure.
All that stuff. And when you think about it, it's evil, but it tastes good. And, it's uncool to say, hey, we need to ban tricks.
I know. Well, it's such like an interesting, I go back and forth because morally it's like, that's very wrong. But then I'm like, where am I which hill am I going to die on? You know what I mean? Like I have to figure out where I'm going to stand on the issues. So I like to be like, it's very clearly psychotic manipulation. Most of the food in America, not edible. However, it is not my fault that you can have blue colored random things and
Isn't
eat
it
them.
wild? Isn't it wild how important the color is?
Yeah.
Like color is such an attractive thing. Like I'm just thinking right now of Fruit Loops and Tricks, all those like purple, pink, green, it's like, that's what I want.
Yeah, exactly. I want the weirder the color. My mom raised me like no artificial colors or flavors, all like organic. She was like on her own shit. And
she was trying to be a good mom.
She was trying to be a good mom. Ultimately, it landed us here where I have a podcast about snacks and I demanded green ketchup. So did it work?
Wow.
No, I don't. I think we can see that deprivation is not the answer.
Yes, deprivation is not the answer. Do you still eat a bunch of these evil snacks?
I
Evil
mix,
in quotes.
I mix it. I vary it. Like I'm not gonna. If I really want something, I'm gonna get it. Like sometimes if I go to the
Wow,
movies, if
good
I go
for
to,
you.
I know that's like I have to remind myself that I'm an adult.
Yeah, me
It does.
too.
There is a physical toll that it takes on my body, which is
Yes.
the hard part of just like being an
I kind of
adult.
fight through that.
Yes, I fight through that, but it's like if I'm going to the movies and I want like
Mhm.
sour strips of like I
Mhm.
want like the most childish candy I can find, then I'm like, yeah, fuck it. But I
Yes.
definitely my snack, my like junk food snack drawer is way above my refrigerator where I can't reach it.
Right.
So I gotta
Where I
really
can't
work.
reach it, like
I
you
have to
can't figure
really
out a
work.
way to
Yeah,
get
I have
to
to
it when
really
you really
work.
want it.
I have to hide it. But even so, I bake all the time and I just end up going and eating like spoonfuls of peanut butter with chocolate chips.
That sounds good.
I mean, yeah. So I generally keep it pretty healthy now. But
Oh,
if there's something that's like I mean like this whole idea is kind of like it like getting into my inner child of just like there's
yeah,
something inside of me that gets so excited at the idea of the most artificial looking candy that looks
yeah,
cool.
yeah. It is so true. I mean, just talking about color and just the way they know too.
Oh, for sure.
They are like, you know what always makes me laugh is like the picture of things on the box or on commercials, how delicious they look. And then you go to like, let's say it's a hamburger and you go to Carl's Jr., whatever, and you order that, what you saw on TV, and it's this dried out, like,
yeah,
thing that looks nothing. Hey, I wanted the thing I saw on.
Well, the thing about that too that's so funny is like I don't know if anybody has ever actually looked at a Taco Bell taco, but like a soft taco, but
I
like
have it.
yeah,
Yeah.
like it's literally just wrapped. It's like the most pathetic looking taco I've ever seen in my fucking life.
Oh my God.
But like
Taco Bell is people go to that place.
They
all
love
the
it.
time.
They love it. And I'm not like a fast food person, so I've never been into it. Like if I'm gonna get something in that realm, I'm gonna get like the dumb bougiest version of it. That's like my whatever.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
but like it looks gross, but it is the mental manipulation of even though what's in front of you looks disgusting, you're still thinking about the picture that initially brought you
That's
in.
true. That's true. And also I think Taco Bell and a lot of these fast food places are just, it should be like they're saying, all of them should be, are you drunk? Well, this is for you. Because I think I drive by a Taco Bell. We both don't drink, right? I drive by a Taco Bell late at night coming home from, clubs. And the line of people is amazing at, I don't know, 1 a.m. And I'm just thinking every one of those motherfuckers is drunk.
Yes. It's funny to be in the grocery store at 12 a.m. Or 1 a.m. because I live by a lot of 24-hour Ralphs and like pavilions.
Brag.
And it's so funny to be in the grocery store at 12 or 1 a.m. and watch what people are grabbing. Because there's definitely people that are there and they're like, for some reason, that's when they do their normal grocery shopping. But then there's the people, and this is usually why I'm there, that are just like holding bags of chips and cookies. And you're like, look, I don't know what to tell you.
I usually do that type of shopping, what you're just talking about, chips and cookies, whatever, like at a Whole Foods during the day where I'm doing my regular shopping and I'm putting in all this organic produce, and then I'm like, I go down the ice cream aisle and I feel like I'm walking in a porn section of a video store. and I'm looking at the ice cream, kind of like,
Evaluating.
And there are times where I'll just pass it, and then I go back. Like, I have this struggle.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
I'll be like, no, not today, Mister Sugar.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
gas stations on the road, my kryptonite are truck stops. Truck stops fuck me up. And like, I have to like personally, I have to like, they fuck me up so bad because it's all like, they have shit there that they wouldn't normally have at a grocery store. It's all made for people to like shovel it into their face while they're driving. So it's like my favorite kind of finger food stuff. And I will go up and down the aisles.
Those things. Yeah.
I mean, corn nuts.
Yeah.
Combos, one of my favorites that are underrated combos with like the weird cheese filling. All like the different kinds of nuts are fun. I love the beef jerky. I mean, this is all stuff you're not eating, but all the different kinds of chips. Like in California, we get like the Mexican chips and shit too. And that's always really fun.
Mexican sodas like Choritos?
I do. I like those.
Those are sugar intense.
It's all sugar. It's all delicious. Sugar. I recently had chamoy covered gushers.
I don't even know what that means.
Chamoy is like, maybe it's like tahine. I don't know. It's like something that they put on shit all the time, and it's like kind of spicy.
Oh, I like that. I like spice with sugar.
Yes. Yeah. And so I literally was at a show and I somehow found people selling candy. And
at a show.
I was at a show, found people selling candy, and was like, yeah, of course I'll buy that. So
of course, yeah.
That's also, I like to collect things on the road too. I'm just such like a food person travel wise that I'm like, well, I gotta get it. I've never seen it. And then I go back and it's like in my local grocery store. The novelty of it is so exciting.
Right. It is kind of exciting to go on the road and go, what do they have here in North Carolina?
Oh, yeah.
You know, like, what do they have that's indigenous to North Carolina?
I love a grocery store. That's like anytime I go anywhere, I go to a grocery store, no matter what.
Cool. It is cool to see the different locale, different states and like what their grocery stores are like.
That's where I like get my fucking kicks now. Is just touring grocery stores and convenience stores and missing a show because I just get so enthralled with the chip section.
Missing a show. Where's Adams?
Yeah, if there's not like a craft service table, it's so funny. I like literally will like beg to do a show and I'm like, where's the craft service table?
Oh yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's a funny thing too, man. Like getting TV and film work in LA. And I remember my first big role ever was this movie Old School with Will Ferrell and Vince Vaughn.
Right, yes.
So their craft services, because it was a big studio production, was unbelievable.
Ugh.
And it's actually ruined me for indie productions. I wasn't vegan then. I remember we used to go in the trailer and like, I didn't have a big part, but I was in a lot of scenes,
right?
And, I was with a bunch of guys who actually they all became famous, like Rob Corddry, who became big, Simon Helberg on Big Bang Theory. We all used to gather around because we were in the same seat together and go, did you hear it's prime rib and crab claws for lunch? And then the amount of snacks on the big productions. as well was amazing. And I put on, it's like being on a cruise ship. I don't know if you've ever been on a cruise ship.
It's insane.
It's insane. It's like they have pre-lunch, they have after lunch snacks. It's crazy. They have the ice cream bar after lunch.
I've never been on a cruise, but it's like I aspire to be the kind of comedian that is constantly in a place where there's a buffet. I honestly don't know. I don't know where my career will end up, but if it doesn't involve a buffet, then I'm not interested. That's the truth. So I fully support a pre-lunch, a pre-breakfast.
It was crazy. I put on so much weight. Like I had and that's the thing, you're running a podcast on snacks, and for some people, snacks are extremely dangerous,
Sure.
For me, I'm a little better now, but man, there were times where I ate ridiculously on a cruise ship or on that set of Old School. I look at pictures of myself and I'm like, oh my God, you look like the Goodyear fucking blimp.
You were just like sweating out all of the food. I've talked about this a little bit before, but I was on a test team for a Gordon Ramsay show.
Oh, shit.
And this basically goes to like how wasteful they are with food at studios.
Oh.
So we would cook all of the dishes. It was for a live show. So they essentially used us as the blocking, but we had to cook everything the same way that the teams during the live thing would do it. So we were using all the food, all of like the same things. And at the end, they would throw out, we had to make 50 plates of like steak, and they would throw it out at the end. And so I started, like the fucking psycho I am, collecting it in giant to-go boxes. And I walked out the last day. I mean, everyone was like, please stop. This is embarrassing. And I was like, you guys are wasting prime, like quality food. People are starving. I mean,
Would you hand it out to people?
No, I ate it. No.
People, are desperate for food.
People can't. And at the last day, we did surf and turf. And so I collected so much lobster that I brought home such a huge fucking thing of lobster. And I was like, this is sick. Like, this is fucking cool. Is this what TV is? Because I'm so game.
You were like, from Maine. You were like, look at this.
I was so excited. I was like, this is what luxury is.
Yes,
just like styrofoam containers full of leftover lobster that they were just going to throw out. It's a nightmare. But I think embracing the enjoyment of food and snacks is something that ends up ultimately being helpful.
Really?
In terms of not using them as like a tool. Yeah, because if I'm focusing on how much I love them and appreciate them, then I'm going to enjoy the experience with some more presence of mind.
With more presence, yeah, because I'm just thinking a couple of the snacks that have now made their way into my life are, well, one I think isn't too bad. I love to freeze grapes.
Yes, I knew you were going to say that for some reason.
I fucking love it. And I don't think they're that terrible. They're high in sugar, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But like, I fucking, in the summer here, and I'm in the valley, it's like,
super
it's
hot.
so fucking hot that I just, if I don't have them in the house in the summer, I get a little down. I'm like, fuck,
yeah,
I don't have my grapes.
Your go-to.
Yeah.
What are your other go-to snacks?
Well, another thing that has gotten into my life, but I think I'm kicking it out because I just don't feel good after I eat this shit, is I love popcorn with like the sweet popcorn.
Yes.
I love that shit.
So do I. And
You
like,
know?
I'm not trying to fuck your life up, but like, but I will say that there's been some popcorn innovation in the last year
Couple
or
of
so.
hours.
Yeah, exactly. Where they've got candy flavored popcorn. So like
That stuff.
they have Butterfinger popcorn, like kettle corn, like with
The
Butterfinger.
kettle corn is what
Yeah.
I love. Yeah. Now here's the thing though, when I'm right on my veganism, I can't have a lot of that stuff.
Mm,
So the vegan options on the kettle corn are a little limited.
that's
And
true. I actually didn't
because
think
if I
about
could,
that.
yeah, if I could get my hands on that other stuff, you know, and I believe all that stuff has palm oil.
Oh yeah,
And
for sure. For sure. I mean, there's nothing good in it. Like I don't know if like any of the stuff, there's nothing good in it whatsoever. You have to like go to Whole Foods, make your own version. I mean,
our
palm
kettle
oil.
corn has pureed broccoli. Imagine that if the kettle corn.
Oh my God. I mean, yeah, it's also, I'm thinking now, like going back to like the way that snacks are consumed. I used to eat the Easy Bake Oven packets without baking them. I would just like down it. And
Oh
I did
my
that with
God.
pudding. I did that with pudding packets too.
Like dried powdered,
I've
just
been
powdered
known.
sugar essentially.
Yeah, and I've done the same thing with hot chocolate in my adult life. I used to do it with lemonade mix.
That's my wife's favorite is hot chocolate.
Really? Yeah,
Oh,
I used to just dump hot chocolate packets in my mouth, lemonade mix. Like this is all very mentally ill behavior.
Do you remember? I don't know if they have this again either. Pixie Stix.
Oh, absolutely. It's the most psychotic thing that you could ever think to give to kids. What a brilliant invention of the food people to just color sugar, put it in a stick, and then go at it.
Yeah.
And then somehow think that children are going to control themselves.
And growing up, we also had something called Jawbreakers.
Oh, yeah.
And they literally were the size of things that could break. I remember sucking on a Jawbreaker, you know, like a huge, like it would be sucking on like a tennis ball for fuck's sake.
And the novelty.
Yeah.
Yeah. The novelty of stuff like that. I love dots, jujubes.
Yes, dots.
I have broken 3 crowns.
Yes.
Yeah, on candy. One was this past Halloween. I broke a crown on a frozen dot.
Yeah, and frozen stuff. Yeah.
And I don't know why I was like, yeah, freeze this already incredibly specifically was a food that my dentist said this is one of the worst foods you could eat. And I was like, yeah, bitch. And then $600 later, cracked a fucking crown out of my mouth.
I've cracked my teeth on like frozen Butterfingers, frozen Snickers.
Yes. It's mortifying. You go into the dentist and they're like, well, what happened? You want to be like, oh, I got into a fight. It was like I was defending someone's honor. And it's like, no, it
was over our pullout on Afghanistan.
Yes, exactly. And it's like, no, I ate a Jolly Rancher and I couldn't wait. So I chomped down on it.
Oh my God, Jolly Rancher is another big one. I went through a phase with all these things.
Yeah, the phases are a big thing. I mean, generally the phases end because something happened. Something bad happens and I have to take a break.
For most people, it's called diabetes.
It's true. That's true. That is true. I totally ignore. I mean, look, I guess a crown is better than diabetes. Fair enough.
But it is amazing because what your podcast really is about is the pervasive and like the addictive quality of sugar.
Oh yeah.
You know?
But there are people I've had on that are not sweets people, which I don't understand.
Really?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
What are they like?
They like potato chips and
Oh,
like
I love those.
I mean, me too, but like I've always got to have a sweet, and a candy is like the
Same.
ultimate. Like the candy is a reward. Chips are a snack, I guess.
Yeah.
So if I
I'm
have
going to start
candy,
a podcast called Reward Time, and you could handle the snacks.
perfect reward time. It's just taunting people with like, do the right thing. Okay, so I want to get into just a couple games to see just some silly stuff to see if you know facts about your fave snacks. So we've got 2 rounds of 2 truths and a lie.
I forgot about the game portion.
Oh, well, the game portion is happening.
Let's hear it.
Do it. So we've got 3 statements. You tell me which is the lie. So the first one is May 22nd is National Vanilla Pudding Day. The second is chocolate pudding was the first flavor of sweet pudding invented. The third is pudding comes from the French word for milk.
I'm going to say, which is the lie?
Yeah, which is the lie?
I'm going to go with chocolate pudding.
And you'd be wrong.
Fuck. Is it the French thing?
Yeah. It comes from...
I should have went French.
I mean, look, it's like you obviously are not educated.
Yes.
It comes from the Latin word batellus, which means sausage.
Sausage?
Yes. And the French word boudin has the same root. So
boudin, yeah.
Pudding means sausage.
By the way, give the French credit for creme brulee. Very nice.
Yes. Well, there's such an evolution of the history of pudding is actually quite,
really?
quite long. Yes, because also they call pudding different things in Europe.
That's true.
Pudding as we know it is custard.
Oh, okay. The Brits pudding means just dessert.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like a mushy, it's more about texture. It's just like a mushy thing. So here's the second round of 2 truths and a lie. We'll get into this. So you tell me which the lie is. We've got haggis is considered a type of pudding. British foods are disgusting. And rice pudding is good. Which is the lie?
Rice pudding.
You're right. You're correct. You're totally
Thank you.
correct.
I knew it because I'm a pudding guy, and that's what I told you. And rice pudding, I would have rice pudding if there was no other pudding around, and I never liked it.
Absolutely. You don't, and guess what? You don't have to like it. For some reason, there is an immense pressure to like rice pudding. There's a place in New York called Rice to Riches. And it is a place that only sells rice pudding. And they sell like crazy flavors.
In New York?
In New York. Of course, in New York. It's like the gimmick food capital of the United States. So, but it's all rice pudding. Completely unnecessary, should be burnt to the ground. The worst part is that it survived COVID. So it's like, how...
It did.
I mean, what does that say about our society as a whole? The fact that they love rice pudding so much that this place called Rice to Riches that only sells rice pudding.
This would be me in a rice pudding style. Hi, I'd like 2 rice puddings. One of them, could you throw in some extra raisins?
It's really it's bad. And British food is disgusting. There's like a whole sausage history surrounding what pudding is in Europe. Like it's a whole thing. Right. It's very gross. Pudding. Yes. Oh, they put blood in everything. Like they're very into like every part of the meat, which in theory is like ethically how we should be behaving. But like, you know what? When it comes to this, it's like that is not the hill I'm going to die on. I'll absolutely take something that is completely packaged and killing people that I can't see. I'd rather, I don't know what is happening. When I see it, I'll stop it. But okay, so we also have 3 rounds of fuck, marry, kill, Polly. Are you familiar with fuck, marry, kill?
Yes.
Okay. So we've added poly because this is a very woke podcast. So poly as in polyamorous.
Oh, okay.
So this would be in addition to your married choice. So whatever you marry, you can engage with your poly partner as much or as little as you like, or you can share them with your married partner. So
I'm just going to go poly right away. It just sounds like a win-win.
I mean, you get 2 choices. So here are your choices. We've got 3 categories. The first one is pies. So here are your choices for fuck, marry, kill, poly with pies. The first one is pumpkin. We've got pecan, Dutch apple, which is the apple pie with the crumble on top.
I know what Dutch apple is.
I mean, I'm just letting you know because some people.
I am, by the way, I just want you to know I am a sucker for crumble.
Oh, same. I just made a pie recently and it was like 100% crumble, 5% apple. So good. And then sweet potato pie.
So that's all with pumpkin?
No. These are the choices. You get pumpkin pie, pecan pie, Dutch apple pie, or sweet potato pie. And those are the choices you have to fuck, marry, kill, or poly.
Oh, okay. So do I have to address each one? I'm sorry.
Yes. No, okay, so you choose. So you can like choose to marry the pumpkin, fuck the pecan. Yeah.
Okay. I would marry the pumpkin.
Ugh.
No?
No, I mean, go for it. Finish that.
Well, I think we have different, parameters of what is the best.
Sure. Absolutely. I want you to continue.
I would kill the pecan.
That is so upsetting.
Wow. I don't like these big pieces of pecan nuts in pies. Pies to me, I'll go for a crumble, but the texture of pies, man, it should be smooth. I don't need to be biting into, that's my thing. Okay, so kill pecan. Sure. The next one was,
Dutch apple and sweet potato.
Yeah. Dutch apple, I would marry.
Yeah.
And sweet potato poly.
Okay.
I like sweet potato.
Sweet potato pie's, to me, superior to pumpkin. I think pumpkin pie tastes like ass. I fucking hate it. I think we pretend to like it. I don't think anyone actually likes it.
Well, you're looking at somebody who does, and I know what you mean about it because I think there have been great strides in pumpkin pies in the last few years. Like, where I got an incredible pumpkin pie, and you should try this.
Where?
What is that cafe? The Earth Cafe.
Oh, really?
On my recommendation, go to the Earth Cafe, which is such a she place. And it's like $9 for anything. Yeah. But pumpkin pie, matter of fact, I got a piece of pumpkin pie at the Earth Cafe on Melrose in West Hollywood. You know the one I'm talking about?
Yeah.
And it was like when I first got to Hollywood and I was intoxicated with LA. And sitting not far away from me was Julia Roberts, who I can't stand as an actress. But when she was right there, I was like, oh, shit.
Oh, yeah. That was where I went when I visited LA, because I was like, that's where it's the cool. That's where the cool people are. But it's nice to know that their pie is actually good. There is a place in North Hollywood that has good pie.
Oh, what is it?
It's called Republic of Pie.
Oh, I've been in there, but you know what? I don't think they have many vegan choices.
Oh, that would
the vegan sense. Thing really.
It puts a wrench in it. I can tell.
Yeah, and as a vegan, by the way, when I'm really on it, and I'm not cheating, I get pissed that there aren't, and you bake, like, I
Yeah.
get pissed that there aren't more vegan pies.
And honestly, normally I would fight you on this, but the fact is that like making pie vegan is so easy that
Why?
it is surprising.
Is that right? Wow.
Yeah, because I prefer a butter crust. The only thing that you have to really, unless it's a custard pie, the only thing that you have to change is in the crust, making it like vegetable oil, like Crisco, or like a vegan butter.
Yeah, and
instead of
vegan butter is pretty good.
Vegan butter is great. It's actually like very impressive how far they've come. I can't believe you don't like pecans. I think that's actually a war.
I know what you mean, because there is an incredible sweetness to pecan pie.
It's so gooey. It's
yeah,
so gooey.
You're right. You're right. I've had pecan pie that I have loved, but I have to say that those pecans, not a fan. I like a smooth texture. Do you get my objection?
Look, I understand, especially because vanilla pudding is your favorite. If that's what gives you comfort, I do understand why you would like that. I need a crunch in almost anything, which is why I would also marry the Dutch apple though, but I would poly with the pecan. Yeah, Dutch apple I'm going to make one tomorrow because I'm making 3 pies for Thanksgiving for just my husband and I.
Yeah. Oh, that's so nice.
Literally nobody
By the
else.
way, that's amazing. Like, I would eat so much.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know what I mean?
Well, with the baking though, it goes into like, it's purposeful. So it stops me from eating it in a way because I value what went into it. Yeah. And I'm sitting and I'm excited and I'm like observing and judging the texture and the flavors. And
that is so cool. And I'm also realizing why people love food shows is they love, and you actually enjoy this pleasure in real life, like making things.
Mm-hmm.
Or how-to shows when they're showing how to build a house. It's the same thing. You're building a cake, you're building a house.
Yeah. It's also, it is the makeover aspect too, of just being like, remember when these were ingredients? Now they're one thing. It's just a silly, silly change. I think I would probably kill the pumpkin pie. I mean, not probably. I would definitely kill the pumpkin pie. I don't think we actually are.
What about sweet potato pie?
I love sweet potato pie.
Yeah, huh? Maybe I haven't had good ones.
Well, you can fuck up a sweet potato and put I like a marshmallow sweet potato mix.
Oh, those are good. I actually became a fan later in life of yams and marshmallow.
Yes. I mean, it's
Thanksgiving,
Well, now you can only have vegan marshmallows, but it's the same thing as kosher marshmallows. If you can find a kosher, the same thing, right? Yeah, because there's no gelatin. Yeah. Okay, so the next category is tropical snacks. I really decided to go a weird angle. So we've got banana chips. I know tropical. I don't know what qualifies
banana chips. I'm already giving you some spell.
Banana chips, dried pineapple, mango with spice, like the kind they sell on like the street mango.
Yeah.
And then watermelon. Is that tropical? Who knows? It's fruit. We'll just say
well,
tropical.
I have to tell you, I'm Italian, and my Sicilian grandfather in Brooklyn used to bring home watermelons, and his infectious love for them just made me, I associate watermelons with love.
Oh.
Like my grandfather would be, and my grandmother, they would be like, you have to, touch a certain part of the watermelon. I love watermelon.
Interesting. I didn't know that.
It's so sweet. It's so good. My
So
second
good.
choice would be the dried pineapple. Banana chips, no. And certainly not whatever the other. Oh, mango spice. No. I'm not a fan of mangoes.
You're not a fan of mangoes.
Not really. Not
Interesting.
really.
So
Papaya, mangoes. No.
Which would you kill? Would you kill the mango?
Mango.
Or, okay, you would kill the mango.
No. Well, it would be a hard choice between mango and banana chips.
I mean, banana chips, I think they are a fine fuck. I think that...
Really?
Do you hate them? Or do you...
I know what you mean, because you like crunch, and I like crunch too.
And they're oily. Well, you want to talk about palm oil. I mean, I should just put palm oil as a snack.
I'm not even... I'm trying not to bring the vegan stuff into it, but yeah. I don't know what... I find them... Here's the thing. I find them to be on the cusp of sweetness, and they don't really hit that note for me.
Interesting. Okay.
You know what I mean?
I mean, that's fair. These are your choices. Don't let me influence you. I'm just trying to dissect why you're making these decisions. But if you want to kill the mango, then you can hate fuck the banana chips.
Yeah, true. I would do it. I would do that.
Great.
Yeah.
Those are solid choices. I would kill the dried pineapple because, I like
it's sweet.
I like it, but I don't love it.
You love banana chips, though.
I do. I really like banana chips.
I
don't
might
know.
try it.
I don't know why. Actually, you know what? I'm going to change my mind. I'm not going to kill the pineapple. I'm going to kill the
mango spice.
Yeah. Here's the only reason why. I love it when it's good, but when mango is not ripe, I just don't know why we're pretending it's edible, because it's not in that scenario.
It is not.
So I am going to kill that because it's too risky.
Yeah.
I will marry the watermelon because it's a stable partner. That is stable. That is something you can, it's someone you rely on. They'll always be there. You know what you're getting. Every now and then they're not as sweet as you would like, but it's like, what are you going to do? I would poly with the dried pineapple. And then I would fuck the banana chips because they do make you feel sick because they're pretty much all disgustingness. But I love them.
Yeah. Being sick is a small price to pay for a lot of these snacks.
Oh, absolutely. And being sick comes with most of them.
Yes, exactly.
We all know that.
By the way, I have to go very shortly.
Oh, yeah. We're on our last... Well, how shortly? Because we are on our last round, and then we'll wrap.
Okay.
Okay. So the last one, then we're done. Holiday cookies. We've got snickerdoodle cookies, oatmeal chocolate chip cookies, sugar cookies with frosting, and ginger snaps.
Ooh. First of all, in general, I don't like holiday cookies.
Interesting.
It's just so you know, I feel like...
Okay.
You know what I used to hate, but I see their appeal a little bit, are ginger cookies now.
Ginger snaps are amazing.
Yeah.
Wow.
As a kid, I was like, no.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what do you mean sugar cookies with frosting? The frosting part I'm not understanding.
So frosting, just like the royal icing. I should say icing, not frosting. So the kind that is painted on.
Yeah. The kinds that painted on. Yeah. So sugar. What was the oatmeal chocolate chip is interesting to me.
Yeah, snickerdoodle.
They have snickerdoodle. I'm going to give okay. So I would kill the sugar frosting.
Okay.
Kill.
Fair.
I would, let's see. And then what are the other three again?
Ginger snaps, snickerdoodle, and oatmeal chocolate chip.
Okay. I would, so now it's marry, fuck, and poly, right?
Yeah.
A tough choice because I'm not a big fan of any of them.
Well, it's okay to settle in life sometimes.
It's true. I guess I would marry the oatmeal chocolate chip.
Okay. Fair.
And I would poly with the ginger snaps. And I would fuck the snickerdoodle.
Yeah. I actually agree with all your choices.
Really?
Yeah. 100%. No arguments.
Okay.
I think it's all a good choice.
Wow.
You
I feel
picked classics.
Yeah.
I approve. Well, thank you for being on the podcast. This has been amazing. Where can everyone find you? I'll post all of it in the info.
Yeah. Well, the mothership for me is eddiepepitone.com, and that'll connect you, to my shows and to my Instagram and to my Twitter and all that good stuff and my specials. So just eddiepepitone.com.
Perfect. All right. Yeah. Well, thank you again. This has been a delight. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you next time.